Quentin Tarantino has famously declared that, compared to the glory days of the 70s or 50s, the 21st century is one of the worst eras in movie history. He sees it as a time dominated by conformity and a disappointing lack of directorial personality. So, you'd think his list of the best films from this period would be pretty short, right? Wrong. He actually has a full list of movies he champions, and it is packed with shocking choices. We're talking blockbuster comedies, animated features, and brutal, little-known foreign films. These are the movies that prove to him that individual brilliance can still shine through. Recently, he started unveiling his official list of the top 20 films of the 21st century. So today, we're counting down the 10 he's revealed so far, and then filling out the rest of our list with other modern films he has crowned as masterpieces. Before we jump into his surprising picks, if you love deep dives into the minds of master filmmakers, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. 20. West Side Story, 2021. Kicking off the official list is a film Tarantino believes proves a master is still a master. On a recent podcast, he named Steven Spielberg's West Side Story as his number 20 pick. He gushed that it's the film where Steven shows he still has it. And even controversially added, "I don't think Scorsese has made a film this exciting this century." For Tarantino, Spielberg's bold, technically masterful reimagining of a classic musical was such a triumph that he felt it should have won the Oscar for Best Picture. 19. Cabin Fever, 2002. Next up is the directorial debut of Tarantino's friend and collaborator, Eli Roth. Cabin Fever is a gnarly horror comedy about college kids who run into a flesh-eating virus. Tarantino loves its mix of scares and laughs, pointing out how it balances a tense first half with a hilarious final 20 minutes. He said, "There's something so charming. Eli's sense of humor, sense of gore, it just really works. Hostel might be his best movie, but this is my favorite." 18. Moneyball, 2011. It might seem like a weird choice for a director known for explosive dialogue and violence, but Tarantino's love for Moneyball boils down to one thing: a true movie star performance. He named it number 18, giving all the credit to Brad Pitt's role as Billy Bean. Tarantino called it one of my favorite star performances of the last 20 years, where a movie star came in and reminded you why he was a movie star and just carried the movie on his shoulders. 17. Chocolate, 2008. This is a deep cut that even Tarantino admits most people haven't heard of. Chocolate is a Thai martial arts film about an autistic girl with incredible fighting skills who takes on a crime syndicate to pay for her mother's medical bills. For Tarantino, it's all about the action. He praised it for having some of the greatest kung fu fights I've ever seen in a movie. 16. The Devil's Rejects, 2005. Rob Zombie's brutal, grimy sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses is a film Tarantino considers a genre-defining moment. He described it as a rough Peckinpah Cowboy Manson thing, explaining that director Rob Zombie created a cinematic voice that didn't exist before. He argued that Zombie merged the style of a gritty 70s Western with sick hillbillies, creating a subgenre that's now instantly recognizable. 15. The Passion of the Christ, 2004. Probably one of the most controversial films of the century, Mel Gibson's depiction of the final hours of Jesus Christ is a movie Tarantino sees as a straight-up, violent horror film, right in line with exploitation cinema. He respects its unflinching commitment to an extreme vision, which is why he placed it at number 15 on his list. 14. School of Rock, 2003. Proving his taste isn't all blood and guts, Tarantino placed this beloved Richard Linklater comedy at number 14. The film, starring Jack Black as a wannabe rocker posing as a substitute teacher, is just pure joy and energy. For a director like Tarantino, who deeply values authorship, Linklater's ability to craft a perfectly structured, endlessly rewatchable mainstream comedy is a filmmaking achievement worthy of praise. 13. Jackass, the movie, 2002. It might be lowbrow, but Tarantino has nothing but respect for the hilarious and boundary-pushing stunt work of the Jackass crew. He placed the first movie at number 13 on his list, calling it the film he laughed the most at these last 20 years. He even compared the experience to watching a master comedian, saying, "I don't remember laughing beginning to the end like this since Richard Pryor." 12. Big Bad Wolves, 2013. This brutal Israeli thriller is a film Tarantino has been championing for years. In 2013, he famously declared it the best film of the year. The story is a collision course between a vigilante detective, a grieving father, and a teacher suspected of a horrific crime. Tarantino praised the script's sheer audacity, noting, "They handle it with guts and balls. You know the American movie wouldn't do that." It's a perfect example of the kind of tough, uncompromising genre work he adores. 11. Battle Royale, 2000. This one is an all-time favorite of his. Tarantino once said that if there wasn't a movie made since he started his career that he wished he had made, it's this one. He's been a longtime champion of the Japanese cult classic about high school students forced to fight to the death on an island. He has also been an outspoken critic of the Hunger Games for its striking similarities, once stating, "I do not understand how the Japanese writer didn't sue Hunger Games author Susan Collins for every fucking thing she owns." We're about to crack the top 10, and the picks only get more interesting. If you're enjoying this list and want more deep dives into the minds of your favorite directors, take a quick second to subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. 10. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 2019. Of course, a Tarantino list wouldn't be complete without one of his own. While he has often called *Inglourious Basterds* his masterpiece on paper, he has a special fondness for his heartfelt ode to 1960s Los Angeles. It's a culmination of his career-long themes: rewriting history, a deep love for a bygone era of cinema, and a celebration of the kind of movie stars he feels don't exist anymore. 9. There Will Be Blood, 2007. Tarantino has called Paul Thomas Anderson his contemporary and a friendly competitor, and he deeply admires this film. He recognizes There Will Be Blood as a modern masterpiece, though he personally prefers the flashier energy of Boogie Nights. His only interesting critique was of Paul Dano's performance, which he felt wasn't quite on the same level as Daniel Day-Lewis's towering presence. 8. S. Craig Zahler's filmography. Tarantino has a one-film-per-director rule for his lists, but he's been such a vocal fan of S. Craig Zahler's work that we have to include him. Films like Bone Tomahawk, Brawl in Cell Block 99, and Dragged Across Concrete are exactly the kind of tough, uncompromising, and dialogue-heavy genre films that Tarantino celebrates. They feel like throwbacks to an older style of filmmaking, but with a brutal and distinct modern voice. 7. Midnight in Paris, 2011. In 2011, Tarantino released his list of the year's best films, and Woody Allen's whimsical romantic fantasy was right near the top. It's another pick that highlights his immense appreciation for masterful screenwriting. The film's clever concept and witty, charming dialogue are the work of a seasoned auteur at the top of his game, something Tarantino always rewards. 6. Mad Max Fury Road, 2015. Tarantino admitted he initially resisted watching George Miller's action epic. Mad Max without Mel Gibson. Forget that, he said. But after getting a 35mm print, he watched it 3 times in one weekend and declared it terrific. He named it his favorite film of 2015. The sheer force of its practical filmmaking and relentless pace won him over completely. 5. Toy Story 3, 2010. In a truly surprising pick, Tarantino has called Toy Story 3 one of the best movies I've ever seen. He considers the first 3 films a perfect trilogy and praised this installment for its devastatingly emotional and flawless conclusion. His love for it is so profound that he refuses to watch Toy Story 4, stating, "You literally ended the story as perfect as you could, so no, I don't care if it's good, I'm done." 4. Unstoppable, 2010. On his list of the best films of 2010, just behind Toy Story 3, was Tony Scott's high-octane thriller Unstoppable. For Tarantino, this is a perfect example of a director at the absolute height of his craft. He views it as a flawlessly executed action film, a pure, adrenaline-fueled cinematic experience made by a master he deeply admired. 3. Dunkirk, 2017. Tarantino has a deep respect for Christopher Nolan and has called Dunkirk a masterpiece. He admitted that on first viewing, the spectacle almost numbed me to the experience. But after watching it a 3rd time, it jumped from number 7 to number 2 on his list of the decade's best films. He was finally able to see past the spectacle and into the people, calling it an emotional and masterful piece of filmmaking. 2. Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. While released in 2 volumes, Tarantino has always maintained that Kill Bill is one single epic movie. It's arguably the ultimate expression of his cinematic obsessions, a sprawling love letter to kung fu, samurai films, and spaghetti westerns, all filtered through his unique dialogue-heavy lens. Now that a re-release combining both parts is being prepared, it stands as his definitive statement from the 21st century. 1. The Social Network, 2010. For Quentin Tarantino, the best film of the 2000s isn't even up for debate. He declared David Fincher's film hands down the best, stating, "It is number one because it's the best, that's all. It crushes all the competition." He especially singled out Aaron Sorkin's script, calling him the greatest active dialogist. For a director who lives and breathes dialogue, a film built on one of the sharpest screenplays of the century was destined to be his number one. So there you have it. From brutal horror and obscure martial arts to animated tearjerkers and mainstream comedies, Tarantino's favorite films of the 21st century are as eclectic and surprising as the man himself. This list proves that even in an era he criticizes for its lack of originality, he still finds and celebrates films that embody what he values most: pure, unapologetic, and masterful filmmaking. It's a great reminder that amazing movies can come from anywhere, and a true cinephile will always find them. Tarantino's list is bound to be controversial. What do you think is his most surprising pick? And what movie do you think is missing? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video.